Welcome to Uriah Heep, the Magician's Podcast. I'll be covering every studio song the band has recorded and every bonus track that I can find. Each week we'll go over a new song from the beginning to where they are currently, and as they keep adding albums, I'll keep adding shows. Let the deep dive party begin.
In the magic garden, some were singing, some were dancing.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Uriah Heep, the Magician's Podcast. I am your host, Scott Haskin, here with a happy little song from Uriah Heep today. This one is, of course, from the 10 Miles High Unreleased album. And as far as I know, there was no release at all of this song. Nothing I could find. And that's okay, because we're going to listen to it today. Here it is, called Life is a Dream. Well, this is a pretty good mix, and you can hear everything. You can hear the kick, the snare, the bass. I'm hearing 2, maybe 3 guitar tracks, the keyboards behind it. It's very well balanced. Of course, it needs overall EQ and mastering and that kind of part of the production. But overall, we've actually got a good mix on this one, so that makes me happy. I really like this. It just feels good. It feels happy and warm and inviting, and let's just sit down and have a good time kind of song. We'll see where it goes, though. I mean, judging by the title, Life is a Dream, you kind of get the feeling that it would be a fairly positive, upbeat song. I don't mean upbeat tempo-wise, even though it is, but upbeat, like happy.
Life is a dream, at least that's how it should. That's the way it should be, baby. Life is a dream, and now you know it could be. Now you know it could be, baby.
This is a fantastic use of the resources of the band. The backing vocals, the lead vocal just works so well together. I love the sound of the two of them, with and without each other. It really has, I'm trying to think of exactly what the era would be. And I can't pinpoint which decade it is, but there was a time when we had, more songs like this, where it was like the band and the singer and everybody sang backups and just had this kind of feel. It's like a gentle shuffle. I wish I could really pin down what I'm associating this with, but it's just not coming to me. Maybe it will during the episode, and maybe it won't. That's the mystery. This is such a great song for John Lawton. It gives him a chance to put that grind in his voice here and there. It's a very passionate song. I mean, there are a few singers that could probably make a song like this really come to life, but they picked somebody who could absolutely do it by having John in the band. Wow. Yeah. So it's such a simple song, isn't it? I mean, musically, there's not a whole lot to it. It's not an incredibly dynamic song. It's just a fun song. It's lighthearted. It's something you can follow along with. It's a light shuffle, so you could just kind of sway back and forth, tap your foot, drum your fingers, whatever you're going to do, and just follow along and enjoy it. And then that real passion is coming, of course, from John. I don't know how many times they've said life is a dream, but every time still sounds good. There's some songs where phrases and things can get overplayed so easily, but for some reason, as much as it's been repeated, it just sounds good to hear every time. We'll see if I still feel that way by the end of the song. Well, we had a little bit of a glitch in this solo there, but the nice thing was it stayed on beat, which was really cool. I like that. I love that multi-guitar sound. I love the multi-level playing that was done here. That's very, very intelligent stuff. And it felt really good. It didn't have to be a flashy solo because this song, at this tempo would not warrant anything crazy. But this was just like right in the wheelhouse of this kind of music. I really liked it. I always find it a little weird when bands do this on an album versus just doing it in the live version of the song. The song was probably never played live, but this is really more of a live concert thing for me. And it just always sounds weird on an album. I don't know why. Maybe it's just me. The other thing I want to go back to the solo, and I find different too, is that a lot of times, most of the time, in fact, Mick will play the last note of the solo going into the next verse or the next chorus, and it kind of fades underneath the first few words. And here he stopped it dead right before the vocals started. So that was a little bit different too. Also, in the section where the music dropped out, I noticed that Lee Kerslake was playing a couple of extra bass drums in there, really fast, like boom, boom. And I'm not really sure that fit the song either. I suppose it could, but it just felt like, it was a little bit overplayed for me as a drummer. I can't say I would have ever come up with that choice. And that doesn't mean it's wrong. Just for my taste, it just seemed a little bit off. And I went back and listened, and he actually did that in a couple other parts. The bass drum is really kind of muted and not very punchy, so it's hard to hear during the verse, especially over the chorus. But hearing it isolated like that, I was able to pick it up. And then once I heard that, I could go back to other parts and say, okay, yeah, he was doing that. Not my favorite thing. Again, not wrong. All these are choices. It's just like, the choice to play the note into the first line of the following verse after a solo, or to cut it dead before the vocals start. Millions of choices are made in the writing of a song and then in the performance of a song. So, it's all, this is how it was done. There's nothing right or wrong. I could just say what I like and what I don't like. And, but overall, I think it's a good song. I think it's got a really good, happy vibe to it. I feel uplifted. And I don't know why, but I want to take a sailboat journey somewhere. So that is our show for today, guys. I hope that you have a fantastic weekend ahead. We have a couple more shows left to do, and we're going to hit those on Monday and Tuesday. And then that will be that for this season, unless any other bonus tracks are unearthed. Like I said, I was able to find a copy of every song that I was aware of that was recorded. If any of you guys know of any additional songs I did not cover that are under Uriah Heep and not Spice, send me an email at uriahheeppodcast@gmail.com and let me know what they are and any details that you have. That would be fantastic. Thank you guys. Have a great weekend. Do something great for yourself and take a minute to do something great for somebody else. It just takes a moment. Cheers. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Uriah Heep, the Magician's Podcast. If you have enjoyed this show, please consider going over to Apple Podcasts or your favorite podcast outlet, leaving a rating or a review. Be sure to subscribe to make sure that you are notified when new episodes are available. Please be sure to share this podcast with your fellow Uriah Heep enthusiasts and anyone who you think would like Uriah Heep, which should be everyone. And if you are so inclined, please feel free to contribute to the Patreon account. And if you are not a Patreon subscriber, you can also pay through the PayPal link on the website listed in the show links below. I would also like to thank Uriah Heep for their very generous support of the show. And thank you guys for listening. We'll see you in the next episode. Happy days!